Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of your favorite podcast, Chiquis and Chill. Today I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind a lot lately. I want to talk about colorism. You may not know what that is by name, but I'm pretty sure most of you have either witnessed it or experienced it firsthand. So it's basically when people with lighter skin tones are favored or treated better than those with deeper skin tones. This happens way too often in our community, guys, and it needs to stop. One of my best friends, Briana Hauser Gonzalez, has a lot to say about this topic because her own children have faced this type of discrimination. Briana is here with us right now, so let's give her a big, warm welcome. What up, boo? Welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy that you're here. But before we move on, because we have a lot to unpack today, I want to play a video that you posted on TikTok for our listeners.
Let's chat about something that really bothers me. It really bothers me that the Hispanic culture treats children differently based on their skin. I grew up Hispanic, proudly. I am obviously fair skin, blue eyes. I never really paid attention until I had kids of my own. My oldest son is so cute. He is a little darker complected. He has big brown eyes. He's so handsome. He was born, of course, I'm obsessed with him. My second came. My second is very light-skinned, big green eyes, and he is treated completely different. When we're out in public, people see him. ¡Ay, qué hermoso! ¡Ay, de ojos verdes! ¡Ay, qué chulo! Okay. Meanwhile, my oldest is standing there, like, just looking. That bothers me. Why is that a thing?
So here we have Miss Briana. How are
Hi.
you? Are your eyes watery already?
Me. Yes.
Aww.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So let me start because I mentioned the video and we had talked about it like vaguely. And then when you posted the video, I was so proud of you. And I remember sharing it and I remember how much traction it got because this is stuff that people don't talk about enough, especially in our community. So I want you, let's start there. Let's talk about the video and why you felt the need to like put it on TikTok and talk about this.
And I did not think, like, I was like, nobody's probably going to even watch this, but I don't care. Like, even if one person watches it, it makes themselves more aware. That's all that, like, even one person, right? Yeah. So I was sitting in my car, and I had taken the kids inside the store. And this happens, I'm not even exaggerating, at least once a week. My older one is a little darker skin, dark eyes, which I love. And my middle one is very fair-skinned, bright green, huge green eyes. And almost every single time we're out, it's like my older one, they see him and they're like, oh, and then they see my one, and they're like, oh, is he yours? And I'm like, yeah. And oh my God, he's so cute. Oh my gosh, look at his green eyes. Oh, he has eyes like you. And then they'll look at my other one and be like, he must look like his dad, right? And I'm just like, yeah. But it's just like, and he's now 10. So like he's fully, like he like, and I'm just like, and my middle one could care less. Like he doesn't even care, nor does he know. Like he's just like, yeah, like doesn't care. And I'm just like, okay, he's getting older now. Like this is not okay. Like, it's very prevalent in the Hispanic community, which is, and a lot of people said that in my video, like this is all cultures, like, but I can only speak for me.
Right.
And a lot of people came for me in the video too. Like, oh, this has been happening for a long time, but now that it's happening to your kids, now it's a big issue. And I'm like, what? It's funny because in my family, it wasn't a thing. Like my family never made it like an issue or anything until I married my husband. I noticed in his family, it was very much a thing. Like they still, even now, like I remember one of the first times meeting him, it was like his brother joked like, oh, I'm like, you're so fair skinned. Like, why do you like him? He's so dark. Ha ha ha. Like,
what?
And I was just like, yeah. And I just thought, I didn't even see him as dark. Like, it wasn't a thing for me. Like, I didn't see him as like a dark, I don't know. And I was just like, no, he's not. And they were like, yeah, he is. He's like the darkest one out of all of us. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't even,
that's crazy.
It didn't even, because it wasn't in my family, it wasn't a thing. And obviously, like, I'm fair skinned, so I didn't experience it me. And then when we had my son, like, he was born, and of course, it's your son, like, you're obsessed, it's your baby. Like, I don't, it could be the ugliest baby, but it's yours, and you think it's the most perfect baby. So he's born, and I remember, like, my mother-in-law being like, oh, is he dark? And I was just like, that's the first thing that you asked? Like, that's like, I was like,
stop it.
I don't know. And I don't care. Like, what? Yeah. And they wanted to know if he had blue eyes or green eyes or brown eyes. And it's just like, they didn't ask me like, hey, is Briana healthy? Like, did she come out of, everything okay? Is the baby okay?
Healthy?
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like, that's what we're worried about. Like, and it's just, the day I posted the video, I was just like, I had it. Like, I was just like, this is not okay. Like, this is not okay because he's getting older. And it's just going to be like, if we don't, as a community, try to like stop this, like it's just going to be carried on and carried on and carried on. And it's the amount of people that commented in the video, like, I'm Indian and this happens. And I'm just like, wow, like,
it happens way too much. And it has happened for a long time.
A very long time.
But it doesn't make it okay. It's like, so when do we talk about it? Yes, I'm going to talk about it now because yes, I'm experiencing it. And I have noticed that it's happened for years. And now that I have this platform, I'm going to share it. And I think you did amazing. Of course, there's always going to be people that talk crap and come for you. That's just the world we live in, especially with social media. But I'm so glad that you brought it up because I've talked about it here and there on the podcast because I've experienced it or I've seen it in my family. But just to give you guys some context, for those of you that don't follow me on social media or don't know who Briana or what she looks like. So Briana is she has fair skin. She has big blue green eyes, these long, beautiful lashes. She's a beautiful girl. She has a big old booty. But anyway, we don't have to talk about all that.
That's for another day.
Yeah, it's for another day. Big booty problems. I'm just kidding. And her husband, who I absolutely adore, I call him like he's like a Jesus walking on earth, guys. I know that's crazy and you guys are gonna be like, what the hell? No, but honestly, every day this man wakes up and he's about his family, about the Lord, about church, about praying. He sends me scriptures. Like, he's amazing.
Very intentional about how he lives his life.
Yes, absolutely.
With everything.
Yes, I thrive to be like him. And actually, I should have him on the podcast, to be honest. And we should talk about these things. But he has a deeper skin tone. But beautiful skin. I mean, beautiful. So Charlie is the eldest and he looks a lot like his dad, and like Briana said. And then there's Luke, he's still like he's fair, right? His skin a little bit, like he has a little bit tan. And then Marky, who's my godson, and he's have like green blue eyes.
In the middle.
He's in the middle.
Yeah, Mark's like in the middle.
He has like a little tan.
But even him, he gets a lot of attention too because his eyes are green. So they'll be like, ay, mira que, ay, que chulo, mira. And then Charlie's just like standing there.
It's like handsome.
It's so sad.
Yes, that pisses me off because I was like, no, like I'm like, Charlie's so beautiful, so handsome, and it's disappointing, guys. I think we needed to talk about this because it's disappointing that it happens, and I think if we speak about it, maybe it'll cause some awareness within ourselves. Maybe we do that. Maybe there are someone that's listening that is like does that, and you don't understand what it causes children. Some of my cousins on my mom's side, they always felt, I think, and verbalized later on as we got older, how we were treated, my mom's children, because we are lighter. And my grandmother, without throwing any shade, because that's not what I'm trying to do, but this is a fact, I don't know if it was because we are my mom's children and, like you tend to be closer to the kids from like, I guess the daughter. But my cousins always felt it was because they were a little darker complex, like had like a darker skin tone. And I did see the difference to the point where my grandma would always call them las prietas. And that's hurtful. Like I remember it was kind of like jolting, like when I heard it and I was younger and I was like, las prietas. I was like, and I swear to you, I was like, I want to freaking go outside and tan. I want to be darker. Like, I want to like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, is that a bad thing?
Me
Because
too.
she's, yeah. Because she would
Yeah.
say it in a negative way. And I'm like, I remember thinking I was young. I was 14. I was like, even a little younger than that. I was like, oh, is that like a bad thing? Because I think it's beautiful. But I've seen it more and more. Even like el güero, el prieto, el gordo.
We've normalized it.
We've normalized
it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's horrible. Like,
yeah.
That's horrible. Yeah. Weight and skin tone. And like, if we have green eyes or colored eyes, that's like such a big deal. So who cares? Like, I don't get it. And I know that I feel like I've heard your brother say before too, that like he has seen it with his kids. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so you could cut this out if you want. But okay. I've heard him say, Luna, who like is amazing.
Yeah.
Like he has seen it with her a little bit. And it's just like, and I feel like if we don't bring awareness to it, some people don't even know that they do it. Like the old school Hispanic mentality, I think they think it's like, what, how is that bad? Like they don't even know how damaging it could be, you know? And if we don't bring, like I said, awareness to it, like they might not even know, like you shouldn't say that. Like that's not okay to say, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure. 100%. And that's why I feel like if we talk about this now, hopefully in the generations to come, like it'll stop.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned that Rob, your husband, has also experienced it. Has it been like with his family? Obviously, you mentioned his family.
His family, like his whole life, his family. And like, I remember we took Christmas pictures and we showed his grandma the Christmas pictures. And she was like, she looked at it and she was like, te ves muy prieto en esta foto, mijo. Like, that was her first thing that she said. And he was like, okay, grandma. Like, he's so like,
so
desensitized, but that's bad. Like I was like, you should say like, well, that's not nice. You know, like I'm not saying be rude to her. I'm not saying be disrespectful to her, but that's the first thing that you say. Like, to me, it's just like our mentality is just, it's wrong. Like, and like I said, she's older, right? So I don't even think she realizes how messed up that is, and you're right. Like if we bring awareness to it and it's like, speak up.
Yeah.
And I think that eventually maybe it can stop, Yeah.
Has he experienced it like in the workplace? I mean, I know he worked for the family business for a long time, but now that he's in real estate, has he mentioned anything like that?
He also does look very young for his age.
Yeah.
So I feel like people kind of like, oh, like the other day he was dealing with someone and the way it was an older white man. And the way that he said he talked to him, my husband was like, I just wanted to tell him I'm not some dumb Hispanic. Like, I know what I'm saying. I'm not stupid. Like, just because because of the way I look doesn't mean I'm, dumb or I know any less than you. Yeah. And he's just like, no. And I'm just like, good for you. Like, because he could be very chill and passive. And I'm just like, don't allow yourself. Like, I'm not saying be disrespectful, be rude, be whatever, but like, it's okay to put your foot down and be like, no.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you're right. And I'm just like, but like I said, his family, it's so prevalent with them that I feel like he has kind of normalized it himself. And, but when it comes to the kids, he's very like, no. I tell my older son, like, you look just like dad. Like, you look so handsome. You look just like dad. He's like, I don't think I look like dad because I think that my husband's family has made it a negative thing. Yeah. And so he kind of like has now perceived it as like, and I'm like, why? And he's just like, I don't know. But I know that that's what it is because they make it such a prevalent thing that he's dark. And my husband's like, I don't care what they say. I don't care. But it's just like if nobody puts a stop to it, it's never going to end,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And has Charlie like noticed it, like at school or
Yeah.
anything like that? Or when this does happen at the store, does he say, "Hey mom, why are they like that?" Does he bring it up to you?
He's almost like, he'll just kind of like roll. No, he doesn't really bring it up anymore because we're so used to it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it's mostly within our people that I see it the most.
Yeah.
Like and that's what makes me so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, dang, like really? Some people have even asked me if my oldest and my middle have the same dad.
Oh my gosh.
Who asks that?
Or they say, es el de lechero. You know, that's the biggest thing all the time.
Exactly.
It's just like,
but I'm
what?
like, no. Yeah.
No, there's this song too. I can't really think of the name right now, but they talk about it too. It's a very famous song, like a cumbia, like type of song. Can't think of the name right now, but it also talks about how el prietito and que también es tuyo, even though you think he's not yours. Like anyway, even in songs, guys, this has been happening for way too long. And I'd like to know when and how and why it started and why this like separation and division that's being caused with our skin color and how and why. Why is it that like lighter skin is more beautiful?
My husband says that back a long time ago, it was like the people who worked in the farms, the people that worked picking fruit and all that, they were dark skinned because they were out in the sun all the time. Mm-hmm. So they were like the lower class people. Yeah. Right. And so it just carried on like, oh, you're lighter skinned. So you work inside, you're of a higher status, I guess. So like the farm workers, the people that are out doing like they're darker complected because they're out in the sun all the time. So it was kind of like, oh, those are lower class people. And it just like carried on to now. And it's just like such an ignorant thing. And
ignorance. It's ignorance. That is the perfect word because I'm like, dude, now more than ever, you know, and I'm not trying to be like all hippie, you know, and love and peace and love, but it's like with everything going on in the world right now, and now that you can basically just by the way that you look, you can be asked what your status is if you're a citizen, resident, et cetera. And maybe in some cases you're not even asked. It's just unfortunate what's happening, but also like those are the farm workers, yes, that are darker because they're under the sun. They're picking our food. They're feeding us. And I'm just like, how are they lower and why? It's just, it is insane to me. And I had to talk about this because it happens very much. And you guys are going to listen to this, you know, podcast. And some people might be triggered and get upset. And it's okay. I'm all for it. This is something I'm very passionate about. But you guys need to put a stop to it. Like if this happens in your household, the way Briana just said it, if they're doing it to your children, doesn't matter who it is. Like you have to say like, you need to stop calling my son, my daughter this, or even myself. Like we need to stop it because it's going to make the children grow up and feel some type of way. And it's going to mess with their self-esteem. And they're going to feel like they're less 100%. Than and less valuable because of their skin color. And that's not cool. I mean, look, Tupac said it. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Okay. Yeah. And that's what Omi, you guys, she's been on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But it's just like, that. I always think of that and I'm like, dude, there's so much beauty. It does not matter. And again, it's not because, oh, you know, like, you know, hippie love and peace and love, but I really truly believe it, guys. There's beauty in everyone and in everything. Somewhere down the line, we get lost because of shit like this and things that happen in our own family that causes this and causes not only that anger. That's also another thing.
That's what a lot of comments in the video, it was mostly people saying that it's in their own family. Oh, this was me growing up. This was me with my aunt, and that's even more sad. That it's doing it to their own family is even to me more sad than somebody out in the street, right? Like absolutely. If your own family, you know, it's just like, and like I said, a lot of people came at me. Oh, now it's an issue for you because you have kids. It was like, no, my family didn't make it a thing. Like my family, it wasn't like, oh, that person's dark. Like it just never. My family was not like that. So of course, and it wasn't even until I had my kids. This is when I met him, I was like, why does your family say that? And the other day, even his brother said it that someone came into work and was like, oh, that's your brother. He's actually. And that he said yes, and that he goes, wow, he's like so much darker than you. And I was like, why do you, and I turned to him and I was like, why do you have to say that? Like I was before my husband could even speak up. And I was like, can you not say that?
Good,
And then
Briana.
I was just like, can you not say that? Because if it's going to now affect my son, like, that's not okay. Like, you're not going to, like, no. And he was just like, why? Like, and I was just like, no, because it's not funny. Like, it's not a joke. It's not funny. And if I don't stop it here, it's going to continue. So I'm just like, no, I don't care. Like, you're not going to say that, especially in front of my kids. Like, I'm not going to carry this on. Like, I'm not going to let this carry on with my own family. So
exactly. You have to break that.
Yeah, exactly. And if we don't for our kids, then who else is, right?
Absolutely. It's very unfair, guys. And I do think, like Rob said, it does have to do with colonization and how all that happened. It happens in so many different cultures. Even like I was talking to Cody, my trainer, and how he notices in his culture, in the Black community, how it's like, oh, the light skin, they're more beautiful. They get casted for certain parts. And it's like, why? And in Asian culture, they always hide from the sun. They want to be as light as possible because there's something there as well. And again, like you said, we can't speak on that too much because we can only speak about what we have experienced and what we have noticed in our Latino community. But it's all around the world, guys. It's everywhere. It's like the lighter you are, the more beautiful you are. And as a lighter complected woman, I want to speak up and say it's not cool. It doesn't feel good. So now that we've kind of talked about personal experiences and how passionate we both are about this subject, I do want to kind of talk about like the physiological and spiritual impact, guys, just so you guys can think about this. If it does happen, if you are doing it without even knowing, maybe you haven't even noticed this is how you were raised and you're doing it, but it definitely does create self-rejection and community division, guys. Disconnects people from roots and ancestry. Okay. Remember where we come from and how this started. Okay. Europeans came and then now we have a mixture of everything. But at the end of the day, our ancestors are darker complected. So we have to remember where we come from. Healing begins with awareness, self-love, and unlearning false programming, okay, of beauty and worth. And how do we heal? Okay. Like, how do we heal this whole thing? How can we start healing it? And remembering who we are, because obviously it comes, like I just said, comes from generations before us and who we want to be. And I'm so glad, Briana, that you're like putting your foot down and standing up for your family and for your husband and your children, because that is the right thing to do. And there has to be someone in the family to say, okay, it stops here. Because if not, again, the damage is just going to continue to the generations to come.
Yeah.
So healing begins with seeing colorism for what it is, a wound we inherited, not one we created. We heal by acknowledging beauty in every shade, celebrating melanin, and teaching the next generation differently, guys. Tell your daughter, your niece, your little cousin how beautiful her skin is. Let her know her tone is sacred. Kissed by God and not a mistake, guys. And I wrote this earlier because I was like, this is, how can I bring this into, yes, let's bring awareness, but also healing. How can we start? Some people are probably like, damn, well, how do I fix this? Obviously putting a stop to it, but also speaking words of life into your children, like Briana has. I'm sure you've told Charlie.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're special.
Yeah.
Like, what are some things that you have done to make him confident?
Yesterday, I took them to get their hair cut, all three of them. And like, I tell each of them the same thing. Oh my gosh, I don't like one to the other, or it's very like, you look, oh my God, I love the way you look. Like, you look today when I got them ready for school every day, I'm just like, before they walk out the door, I'm like, you're so handsome. You're so cute. Like, and I do that every single day. I'm just like, I want them to know that all of them are special in all their ways. They're all different. And I love that they're different. Like, if we were all the same, like, that would be no fun if we were all the same. If God made us all the same.
How boring. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, that's what makes us special. And that's what we have to love about our children, about each other. And we just have to spread that. We have to spread that and not be so ignorant,
Absolutely. And representation matters, guys. But so does conversation, and the real healing happens in our homes, like I said earlier, in our mirrors and in the words we speak daily, like
Yeah.
Briana just said, where we have to
Yeah.
speak into people. And I'm sure you tell Rob all the time, your husband, I love you, you're handsome. Like
Yeah.
we are all beautiful. We all have something. We all have something to share. We all have something special. We all have our own light, guys. It does not matter what we
We're
look
all
like on
here
the
to
outside.
radiate something. Like we
Yes.
each have something that we're going to bring to this world. And it's just like,
Mhm.
this has to end. This has to end in order to heal.
Absolutely. Especially with our children.
Yeah.
And this will
Yeah.
definitely, I think having this conversation now, hopefully it does awaken something within all of us, within you listening, and we can stop this so that it doesn't affect our children and their futures and how they present themselves in this world. Because that's where it starts, like I said, in our
Yeah.
homes. And I just want to say thank you, Boo, for coming on and talking about this. I know this is a
Yeah.
conversation that brings tears to your eyes because they're your children, it's your husband, and I think you just got to the point where you're fed up and you're like, I'm done with this. And I'm glad that you're speaking up and defending your kids because they're
Yeah.
so beautiful. You have beautiful kids, and I'm not just telling you
Thank
that.
you.
Like they're all very different, all very beautiful, all very intelligent. You guys have done a great job, and I'm glad. And I just want to say thank you for coming on and talking about it. For real.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I did want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Did your cousins in your family, did they sense it as well?
They definitely felt it. They saw it. My grandma did treat us differently. I don't know again for what reasons, but we were always called beautiful and they were called las prietas, and my grandma didn't really show them the same love, to the point where I think they even resented me. I think some issues, obviously there might be a lot more there to unpack. I just haven't been able to have that conversation with them on a deeper level. Things that probably I've done that bother them. But I think that's one of the things. They always treated you guys different. And, and we were treated differently in not such a good way. And the love was not the same. And there was a lot of favoritism.
Do you feel like it carried on? It's carried on through their adult life? Like
for
this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what's the horrible part, right?
Yeah, because
That's
they resent me for whatever reason, or they resent us because of it. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful girls. Like all my cousins, like especially my Tio Lupe's daughters, they're all beautiful girls. They have a deeper skin tone, but they're beautiful. And I see them and I'm like, they're gorgeous. Like I don't know, but again, I'm not in their shoes.
Yeah.
But I did realize, I'm like, damn, I saw how different they were treated because of that, or whatever other reasons. But regardless, to me and to them, I know that they felt it was because they were darker. So it sucks because it also ruined our relationship. For whatever reason, they're very distant, and I don't blame them. I'm like, it just sucks, dude. It's not cool, and I'm sure it's affected their confidence. Although I see them a lot better now, like, like they're out there a little more, which I like, but it does suck for sure.
And people think that kids don't pick up on it. People think that kids like, oh, they're not paying attention. They don't know. The kids are sponges. They pick up on everything.
Everything.
Like, every single thing. Like if maybe not when they're 4 or 5 years old, but eventually, like my oldest one is 10, like eventually they are going to pick up on it, and you don't want them to carry that through their adult life. Like we have to put an end to it. Cause then I don't want him to carry it to his own family. So that's why we have to do our part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you, Boo. Honestly.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I know you got to go pick them up. Tell them I love them very much.
I will.
And tell them that we're out here fighting for them. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Tia Chiquis has their back. But anyway, I love you and thank you. And guys, thank you for listening. I hope that this episode can really help in one way or another. And I'm not judging in any way. I grew up with this type of verbiage in my life and in my childhood. And I know how it's affected me now in my adult life and how it's affected people that I love. So it's just always to help and to better the world and make the world a better place, one heart at a time. So thank you guys for listening, for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you on the next episode of your favorite podcast. What is it, Briana?
Chiquis and Chill.
Yep. Bye, guys. Yeah. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.